Next guest actually knew the Queen quite well. I want to bring in Her Majesty Queen Noor of Jordan now. Queen Noor, thank you so much for your time today. And I know that you were friends with the Queen, so I want to also offer our condolences and just ask you, how did you feel when you heard that the Queen had passed, and what was it like today to watch her funeral?
Her death was announced so suddenly that it really seemed quite surreal, and for several days. And if that was for someone like me, for her family, it must have been very, very difficult. And my heart goes out to them, as it did throughout today's ceremony, which was, you couldn't help but be moved, and by the outpouring of love by so many people, by the quintessential British tradition and ritual that was carried out to perfection. But I think of her family. The last time I was at a funeral in Westminster, it was for Princess Diana, and that was a heartbreaking moment to see her two sons losing their mother like that. So today was also about family for me.
Now, speaking of family, your husband, your late husband, I should say, King Hussein of Jordan and Queen Elizabeth, they both came to the throne in 1952, and they had a special relationship over the years. What was that relationship like?
Well, it began in 1952, as you said, rather unexpectedly for both of them. It had come as a bit of a shock. My late husband's father had to abdicate. The Queen's father suddenly died. And these were two young people thrust into these positions during periods of both domestic and international turmoil, really. Not that turmoil has eased to a great extent over the years. And I think they both faced it with a overriding sense of duty, of course, the same, very similar values, integrity, and a concept of service and humility that really defined both of them. So their personal qualities, as well as the moment of history they passed through together, even though they were in different positions in their two countries, until my husband passed away after 47 years, bound them, I think, very much together. But I think it's that personal legacy of their values that really is the most precious that they have left their families and their countries.
What do you think it meant to your husband to have a sort of royal peer in that way, particularly one that seemed to be in such a similar position to his own?
While they were in very different positions according to our country's constitutions, I think that having someone with such a long-lasting personal and statesmanship relationship, if you can say that, was of incomparable value, because again, they lived through so much together, they could share so much together, they had so much knowledge, so much experience. And that bound them in ways that they were always mutually respectful. My husband was ever so courteous, even knowing her as long as he did. He always treated her with deference, and I think at times she would have liked him to be a little more relaxed with her. But he felt that she deserved that, and the two of them together, I think, were of a great value in their relationship to both our countries.
And I know that you both visited and hosted Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip through various times and years. So would you share some personal stories, personal memories of your time with Queen Elizabeth through those years?
Well, my first visit with the Queen was with my husband for a lunch after my marriage, and I was probably still 26, and this was a lunch in, I'm fairly certain it was Buckingham Palace, but it might have been Windsor. It was a daunting experience for me. Princess Anne was there as well. We are the same age, and I can't remember much because it all was a bit of a blur for me. I think the other than the state visit in which the king and the Queen and Prince Philip came and showed such interest and curiosity and stamina, we walked them all over Petra and so many other parts of the country that actually take a great deal of stamina, and they were wonderful sports throughout the entire trip, but it was the curiosity and the interest in understanding even more deeply than they already did after so many years, more about the people of the country, more about the country, and more about the king's views about not only Jordan, but also the region. I think the most moving visit for me, or the most unusual, was one in which I was invited to Windsor for a day and a night after that state visit. And the Queen, Prince Philip and I, the three of us, had a TV dinner together in a quiet sitting room. He knew I was interested in environmental issues. It's something we shared. And so we watched a film on pandas, and it was just like having a family dinner. It was a very special moment that I'll never forget. And breakfast the next morning was the same. An enormous privilege, really, for, again, a young girl to, like myself, who may have been queen, but at the same time looked up to this couple who had been on the throne for so long and had served with such dedication and commitment.
Seeing the reaction from the country today, you certainly were the only one who looked up to the Queen. But you are very unique in having this friendship with her, and it certainly sounds like she valued that as well. Queen Noor of Jordan, we appreciate your time today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.